You are all welcome to the joint press conference. We wish to welcome all the media houses here. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate all the members of political parties, the leaders of political parties in Nigeria that are here present. We want to as well appreciate all the members of the Ethnic Youth Council that are here present and some other youth organizations. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. We are here today to speak on the issue of the new Naira that the Central Bank of Nigeria has informed us that they are going to roll out soonest. And we want to appreciate the man that is at the head of the affairs of the Central Bank. And to do that and reach the best text of this conference, we want to call on our own most honorable Godwin Meniga. He is the convener of the Ethnic Youth Leaders Council. Please, a round of applause while he reads the press speech.
Thank you very much, my brother. Once more, let me thank the media men who are here today for always listening to our call whenever we invite you here to cover our press conferences. We really do appreciate your efforts, and the reporting too, we must really appreciate you for the good job you've been doing. Thank you so much. I'll go straight to our press text. We are glad to have summoned you all here today to celebrate, to rejoice, commend, and enjoy, and caution at the same time in connection to the issuance of new Naira banknotes by the Central Bank of Nigeria. While we commend the bravery of the Central Bank Governor in making this call, we celebrate and rejoice with Nigerians over these singular moves with immense benefit both in quality and in quantity. Nigerians have heard that due to security situations in the land, kidnappers and bandits demand hundreds of millions of naira from their victims and their families. They simply do this because they know, like we all know, that there is too much cash in circulation outside the bank vault. This singular move of the CBN will force them to bring out already received monies and return them to the banks or dissuade the business of kidnapping, because they will all be in new notes and serial, which will be easier to monitor and track, and also the new banknotes will not be allowed to get out of the grip of the Apex Bank. This move will improve security all around the country. It is on this note that we call on all security agencies to be on the lookout: the police, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the Nigerian Army, the State Security Services, the Nigerian Immigration Service must also be very vigilant throughout the period of this transition. Furthermore, the introduction of the new banknotes, particularly at this time, will indeed, let me take that again. The introduction of the new banknotes, particularly at this time, will aid in the conduct of free and fair elections, as politicians who have stashed billions and millions of the current Naira notes for the purpose of sportsmanship, of vote buying, and other unlawful activities in this season cannot have access to cash to do this. Even public servants who are plotting to, as usual, loot public resources in this end of the year season will not have access to cash to loot. The timing is just right. It is on this note that we passionately call on the Central Bank of Nigeria not to shift the deadline date of 31st January 2023. We are aware that certain politicians will begin to put pressure on the bank to shift the date so that they can have money for vote buying in the election. But we enjoin the bank to resist all such plea when they come and enforce the date already announced to the public. While we concur with the CBN governor of the global best practices of redesigning currencies every 5 to 8 years, the fact that the Naira has not been redesigned in 20 years should be the defense that this is the best time and not heed to any call for the shift in the deadline. We note that as the CBN governor has stated in recent times, currency management in our country has faced several deducting challenges that have continued to grow in scale and sophistication with attendant and unintended consequences for the integrity of both the CBN and the country. These challenges, he stated, include: 1. Significant hoarding of banknotes by members of the public, with statistics showing that over 80% of currency in circulation are outside the vaults of the central bank. Worsening shortage of clean and fit banknotes with another negative perception of the CBN and increased risk to financial stability. Increasing ease and risk of counterfeiting, evidenced by several security reports. As you all may already be aware, currency management is a key function of the Central Bank of Nigeria, as enshrined in Section 2B of the CBN Act 2007. The integrity of the Naira, the efficiency of its supply, as well as its efficacy in the conduct of monetary policy are some of the hallmarks of the Central Bank of Nigeria. As acknowledged, recent development in photographic technology and advancements in printing devices have made counterfeiting relatively easier, and there has been no significantly higher rates of counterfeiting, especially at the higher denominations of 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira banknotes. So redesigning the notes now will make it impossible for these counterfeiters to introduce this money into the banking system. Hence, with this announcement, Nigerians are called upon to be vigilant about those who wish to make huge cash transactions with them now, so that they do not fall prey to the wiles of these counterfeiters. In like manner, money laundering we believe may have also been easily occurring in our economy due to the large volume of cash outside the banking system. We laud the CBN governor for this move, and we believe that laundering of money will likely reduce, if not eliminated, as the new notes will be coming with attendant better monitoring and tracking system. We also wish to note that the issuance of the new Naira banknotes will help boost our economy and strengthen the Naira with better control measures. Coming with this new issuance, there will be money in the formal system, which can be used for financing businesses and the economy, rather than the current stashing of cash in various warehouses and private vaults. If you go around the country today, you see that most of these Nairas are stocked in tanks, in silos, suitcases. Some people even hide these monies under their mattresses, in unoccupied rooms and other such unconventional places. The Nigerian economy cannot be expected to be buoyant when over 80% of the currency circulation is outside the commercial banks. This is unacceptable to us. This policy will certainly put more money in the vaults of the banks, and there will be more money in the banks to lend to formal purposes. This will naturally force down interest rates. This will formally force down interest rates, which will be beneficial to the businesses and borrowers. The current interest rate in the country is really not suitable at all. Furthermore, currency speculation will not have unrestricted access to cash with which to further their trade and economic sabotage. There should be strict enforcement for all applications for business travel allowances and personal travel allowance to be online on the CBN platform and approved by the Apex body before such forex is made available to the applicant. These policies will generally make it more difficult for people to have unmerited access forex and the consequential dollarization of our economy. With inflation hitting almost 21%, the withdrawal of the current notes in existence will help the CBN to mop up excess liquidity in the system, which is one of the major causes of inflation. The Nigerian economy will be remarkably improved by this masterstroke, and Nigerians and Nigeria will be better for it. With other measures in line to check inflation, which the bank has introduced and is still introducing, inflation will drop in the season when it has almost become natural for it to climb in Nigeria. It is now time for Nigerians to rally around and support Mr. Godwin Emefiele to see that unscrupulous elements do not take advantage of the times to misinform the people to reject a policy that in multiple ways is for our general benefit. We have already observed that the presidential candidate of one of the political parties, without adequate information and appropriate analysis of the policy, had rushed to the press to make calls for the sack of the CBN governor. While we condemn such uninformed calls, we commend Nigerians for not taking the bait to oppose a policy for political gains of a few individuals among the political class. This is a critical national issue and should not be judged on the basis of political leanings of politicians. We also wish to have considered the cost of printing these new notes and the impact of such cost on the present economy, and we have carefully compared this cost with the benefits of the move. We hereby declare that the benefits far outweigh the cost of printing these new Naira notes, and on that basis, we endorse fully the policy, wholly and completely. It is our further call that the Central Bank of Nigeria should set a limit now for bureau de change operators on the volume of transactions in Nigeria. They are to conduct in cash. This is to ensure that criminals, kidnappers, bandits and terrorists do not take advantage of the window to still have value for the cash in their possession. Any amount beyond such limit should be online transactions. When this is done, convert their illegal monies to foreign exchange. And while this causes an immediate shortage, will lead to the hiking of the exchange rates at the parallel market. With more online transactions, the CBN can monitor the economy better, project better, have access to more reliable economic data, and the economy will invariably improve based on that. Finally, we once again say that this singular policy and the timing of its introduction is like the proverbial one stone with which to kill two birds. But however, this one stone has killed all the evil birds in the forest. It has shown yet again the wizardry in the management of the economy by Mr. Godwin Emefiele. We therefore urge national support and the buy-in of all stakeholders as well as the Nigerian people. And we say a very big thank you to the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria on behalf of this particular young people in Nigeria who have been hard hit and are indeed greatest beneficiaries of this great policy of the CBN. Thank you very much for listening. And once more, let me say thank you to our media houses here. God bless you all.
Thank you, thank you. Please a round of applause to Honorable Godwin Naira. He is the convener of the Ethnic Youth Leaders Council. Yes, the youth has spoken, and they have spoken clearly in appreciation to the central bank governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. Maybe I wouldn't know if it is by chance that he answers Godwin as well, Godwin Meliga and Godwin Emefiele. Please, a round of applause for them again. Yes, it is Harry Hobart that said, if you have the courage to begin, you will have the courage to succeed. Yes. Honorable Meliga, thank you for appreciating the CBN governor who has shown the courage to begin. And we pray, the youth of Nigeria pray that he would have the courage to succeed. We appreciate him for that. Again, the youth are not left on this appreciation note. We have in our midst members of the political parties that have joined to say thank you to Mr. Godwin Emefiele. And representing the Nigerian political parties is the national chairman of Action Alliance, AA. He is also the director, contact and mobilization of Coalition of United Political Parties. Please join me to make welcome Chief Barrister Kenneth Udeze. He is going to speak on behalf of Nigerian political parties. Please, a round of applause for him.
Thank you, Mr. Obed. Thank you for that introduction. Thank you, Nigerians. Nigerian political parties praise Emefiele, and we say that the new currency is a fatal blow to vote buyers, with Naira warehoused and chance to reduce vote buying in 2023. It is with great excitement that the leaders of political parties in Nigeria received the news of the issuance of new Naira notes for the higher denomination of 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira by the Central Bank of Nigeria. We have followed and monitored the comments of experts on the immense benefit of the policy on the Nigerian economy, and we concur with that. However, as leaders of political parties in Nigeria and concerned that there is an impending general election within the next 4 months, we view the policy from the prism of its effect and implication on the election. And on that basis, we praise the policy on issuance of new banknotes. This support for the policy is on the basis that the Apex Bank insists on not shifting the deadline date of 31st January 2023. We urge the people of Nigeria to stand with the CBN governor and demand that the set date becomes sacrosanct. There is nothing like the window is too short. It does not require a month for one to take money to the bank, except there is something they are hiding. We consider that this policy is the most fatal blow to vote buying and vote buyers in Nigeria, and if, as we believe, is properly implemented, the 2023 general election will be determined by the actual votes of the people, since the BVAS machine, also introduced by INEC, will expectedly remove all incidents of ghost voters and result sheet snatching, while ensuring electronic transmission of results straight from the polling units, and also electronic accreditation of all voters, so that number of voters electronically accredited will not be less than the number of vote cast. We call on all Nigerians to contribute their support in whatever way, so as to ensure that vote buyers do not use their illegal money to buy the opinions of the people against the policy. In like manner, we urge the buy-in of the media to once again stand with the Nigerian people in supporting this policy so that the date is not extended beyond the already set date. With the cleaning of the voter register, which INEC has done, the deployment of the beavers, and now with the fatal blow of vote buying, Nigerians can have confidence that the 2023 election will be free and fair. All the cash which has been stashed in various warehouses will now have to go back to the banks. And we urge the CBN also to resist pressure to print large volume of cash. Electronic transfer of money should be encouraged now, and we call on all relevant security agencies to be vigilant in identifying politicians who have questions to answer when they go to return their billions, which they cannot explain their sources. Whistleblowers should also be on the lookout because money tanks, private votes, and cases where Naira had been stashed in the past will be opened very soon. We appreciate and applaud the courage of the governor of CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. We urge him to never to rest on his oars, and we declare that by this singular move, he has deservedly become one of the heroes of the 2023 general election. It is our expectation also that having obtained the approval of the president to implement this very laudable policy, the ruling party makes a commitment not to put pressure on the leadership of the Apex Bank to alter the deadline, as it will go to the root of the integrity of the election and the validity of the result which emerged from it. Thank you, Mr. Governor. You are a great man indeed, and Nigerians will forever declare you one of the heroes of the 2023 general election. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Chief Barrister Kenneth Udeze, for that. Please, may we also, on the same note, call on Honorable Peter Abang. He is a representative of South Youth Council, to tell us and speak on what the Southern youths have in mind.
The Ethnic Youth Leaders Council of Nigeria, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Williams Faulkner once said, "You cannot swim for new horizon until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore." It is at the backdrop of the foregoing that we, the South Youth Council, wish to commend the Governor of Central Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, for taking the bold step and finalizing arrangements to redesign the Nigerian currency. This initiative also, as set aside by the CBN governor, has also put currency launderers and counterfeiters on the run. We are not unmindful of the fact that several economists and political saboteurs are already taking steps or spreading negative concerns on this bold initiative. Our message is clear to Mr. Governor. Do not be deterred. The time to to get it right is now. Mr. Godwin Emefiele, if you have a dream, don't just sit there. Gather courage to believe that you can succeed and leave no stone unturned until you make it a reality. The reality of our present time is the redesign of the currency, that is the Nigerian currency, both the 200, the 500 and the 1,000 naira notes. It is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling that the only time the common Nigerians see new notes is either where there are social functions, parties, weddings, or gatherings where money are being sprayed incessantly. Mr. Godwin Emefiele, we thank you for this bold step. We, the South Youth Council, support this move because money laundering companies who inject counterfeit currency into the financial system and those planning to buy votes in 2023 will now be on the run, while kidnappers and ransom takers have been thrown out of business. We are very, very sure that the fact that counterfeiting in Nigeria will be halted and the new currency will be strengthened. Ransom will no longer be the new order. Vote buyers can no longer buy votes. And there will no longer be uncontrolled cash volume in the system, which causes inflation. The South Youth Council, in conclusion, also declares that the new Naira notes is a step in the right direction. The Central Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, for this bold step. We will fight with every blood to see that Nigeria gets better, beginning from the redesign of the current Nigerian notes to the new one, which will be in circulation from 15th day of December 2023. And we also want to encourage the CBN government not to be forced, not to give heed to cloud chasers, to want to extend the time for which the old currency will no longer be in use. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Practice of Honorable Peter Oman, the leader of the South Youth Council. Please, a round of applause again for him. Please, as he steps down, may we make welcome Madam Kadir Yusuf. Madam Kadir Yusuf is of the Naira Consultative Youth Movement. He has come to lend his support to the good initiative of the CBN government.
In the name of Allah, the beneficial, the merciful. Arewa Consultative Youth Movement, I would like to speak to our people in the language we understand more. A matsayina na wakili ko kuma shugaban majalisar matasa na arewacin Najeriya, muna so mu yi amfani da wannan dama a madadin matasan arewa mu yaba ma gwamnan babban bankin Najeriya Mr. Godwin Emefiele bisa ga wannan tsari da ya kawo na canza ma naira yanayi. Wannan abu ya zo kan lokaci kuma kamar yadda cewa ya yi dukkan tsare-tsaren da ya kamata. Ita wannan naira za ta fara aiki daga 15 ga watan Disamba na wannan shekara, kuma za a daina karban ita tsohuwar naira din a ranar 31 ga watan Januwari na sabon shekara 2003. Hakika ya cika gwarzon shekara a fannin tattalin arzikin ƙasa a daidai wannan lokaci da muke ciki. Mu 'yan arewa a kodayaushe ana kama mu 'yan kidnappers, ana biyan kuɗin fansa, suna tara makudan kudade a daji. Wannan yunkuri na shi insha Allah zai kawo mana karken wannan bala'i da muke ciki. Don haka muke yabawa shi wannan bawan Allah shi Mr. Godwin Emefiele. Bara akwai shiri da ya kirkiro na Naira wanda yake shekara ɗaya kenan, wanda shugaba Muhammadu Buhari ya samu hannu ya kuma kaddamar da shi. Ya zuwa yanzu an samu ci gaba na musayan kuɗi na kusan naira biliyan 8 a wannan ƙasa. Wannan ba ƙaramin ci gaba bane da wannan bawan Allah ya samar mana a wannan ƙasa namu da muke fama da ƙarancin tattalin arziki. Don haka muna kira ga al'ummarmu na arewa da mu ba da goyon baya akan wannan sabon kuɗi da aka ƙirƙiro shi. Mu muna ganin kamar ƙirƙiro shi ne ma musamman saboda mu 'yan arewa bisa ga duba da halin da muke ciki na wannan masifu na kidnapping, tattalin arziki da kuma yanayin gurɓacewar siyasa, yadda ake amfani da kuɗi. Muna ji muna gani sai da ƙuri'a ba tare da an zaɓi wanda ya dace ba. Wannan abu ne wanda yake mun yaba mishi ƙwarai da gaske. Baya ga wannan, kamar yadda ya faɗi cewar zai canza kuɗi daga naira 200, 500 da kuma 1000 naira note. Muna kira ga wannan rana da ya sa kada a zo 'yan bani na iya su zo su ce mishi ya yi kaɗan a ƙara a extending date from 31st of January. Muna so wannan date ɗin ya zama it starts. Ba mu mamaki ba a matsayinmu na 'yan Najeriya da muka ga wata international organization mai suna African mai suna Transformation wata ƙungiya da ta zo ta bashi award wanda ake kiranta Foreign Investment Network, wanda ta bashi award a matsayin Governor of the Year aka yi a Washington DC. Wannan ya tabbatar mana da cewar wannan mutum ne wanda ya kawo ci gaba ga tattalin arziki, musamman mu a bangaren noma. Ya ɗuɗɗo da harkoki irin na ankoboroi wanda sun taimaka mana ƙwarai da gaske akan farming da muke yi a arewacin Najeriya, wanda shi ne babban sana'ar mu arewa. A ƙarshe, a madadin matasan arewa muna ƙara jaddada goyon bayanmu a kan wannan tsari. Muna kuma kira ga dukkan mutanenmu da mu ƙara fitowa kwanmu da kwarkwatonmu mu kau da duk wani mutane da suke zagi ko kuma suke kawo batanci akan wannan tsari da ya kawo tsari ne da zai taimaki talaka. Wanda ya ce bai so to ba mai san talakan Najeriya bane, ba mai san ci gaban arzikin Najeriya bane. Wassalamu alaikum, mun gode.
A round of applause to Madam Kabir Yusuf again for that speech. We appreciate you, sir. We have heard what you said and we understood you clearly. Yes, the Nigerian civil society organizations are not left out in the support to the new Naira notes. And representing the African Center for Justice and Human Rights, it's no other person than Barrister Tochukwu Ohazorike. He is the leader and he is here to lend the support of civil society organizations to the CBN governor in this initiative. Please, a round of applause. A welcome applause for him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, gentlemen of the media. Thank you, Nigerians, for giving us the audience to make this intervention at this time. I have to go straight in because our time is fast spent. Currency management by law is a function of the Central Bank of Nigeria. So it means that what the Central Bank of Nigeria is doing by redesigning the currency is within their powers and the purview of the bank as enshrined in the law. However, we must note that while it is best practice, and we have not experienced this. And this long time wherein the actions have not been taken has allowed a lot of things to happen to the Naira as we see. Involved with the Ethnic Leaders Council and the leadership of and the political parties, and we gave some consultative three areas where it will benefit Nigerians more. What are those three areas? Election, that is the 2023 general election. 2, security. And 3, the economy. So on the issue of election, vote buying, this is a fatal blow to vote buying, because by the time these current notes in circulation become illegal, even on the first day of February 2023, it will be difficult for vote buyers to have resources, because unexpectedly, there will be little volume of these new Naira notes in circulation. So there will be no money for vote buyers to have to buy votes. And it will also help the tracking of campaign expenses. Though it is very close to the election, but at least from that point in time, it will be very easy for the systems, for the relevant authorities, including the Electoral Commission and the security agencies, to track election and campaign expenses by all the political parties. So on the issue of security, we looked at it from the point that kidnappers and bandits demand for ransom in hundreds of millions simply because they know that you can have access to cash. No kidnapper will expect you to do transfer to him. Even if you have $1 billion in your account to transfer to him, he would rather receive it cash in his hand. So this policy is going to restrict the circulation of cash. From what the CBN governor has said to Nigerians in his address while presenting this policy, he said about 3.2 trillion naira are in circulation. Out of these, over 80% are outside the bank vaults. That means the banks are not tracking the movement of about 80% of this money, over 2 trillion naira. We are asking the CBN governor and the CBN that once these new naira notes are introduced, does Nigeria really need more than 500 billion to be in circulation in cash? We don't need it. You will go to countries just like in UK. There are adults 40, 50 years old who have never seen a 50-pound note before. When they see it, they are like, wow, please can I? Children in primary schools have seen 1,000 naira note, which is our highest denomination. So they should print less money. If you have your money, let it be in the bank, do transfers. Okay, it will also make transfer taking and money laundering a lot difficult for people. Now, on the economy, which is the third aspect from which we looked at this, there will be more money in the banks because people have this money, but the banks don't have them. They don't have these monies in their account. So the banks don't have money to lend to manufacturing, to lend to the formal sector to boost our economy. This will force money back into the banks, and the banks can have money. It will make a lot more. Exchange, because they won't have this money, and by the time they start, the parallel market notices this influx of naira to buy dollar. You see the price of dollar goes up. It affects our economy generally. So when they don't have this access to naira to now go and buy these dollars for no purpose, it will now make you now see that the exchange rate will continue to and the naira will strengthen itself against the dollar. It will also help the CBN to fully implement the national policy on cashless transactions in the country. Because once you merge this policy of introducing new notes with the cashless policy, it will naturally encourage people. When you have money in your bank, but you don't have it cash, the next person, that transfer, that electronic transfer you have done is legal tender as well. The person will not tell you, I don't have account. People who say they don't have account do that because they believe they are cash. But when they know that they are cash, but you can't be forced to open bank accounts, and these transactions can be monitored, transactions can be tracked. It will also affect the issue of corruption and reduce it seriously. There is a lot of corruption going on in the country today because when they get this money, it can be transformed to cash. And once it is transformed to cash, it is if you follow the money moves from one to the other. You can trace the money from where it came out from government to the last place it arrived, and we will know who did that. So the idea of people using surrogates and surrogate accounts to withdraw money, then you go and give it to the big man in the office and he now takes it and you can no longer prove it, that idea will now be over because there cannot be cash for people to lose. It will also affect inflation and bring down the inflation rate in Nigeria. This will improve our economy because of the too much cash available. People now can raise prices, inflation comes in because everybody knows that there is too much cash in circulation. Counterfeiting will stop. There has been so much advancement in photographic technology and printing devices that people can actually do these printings and it will seem as though they are the original ones. A lot of counterfeit notes are in circulation freely. They don't want to take them to the banks, but with this policy, the counterfeited notes already cannot now come into the banks because the counterfeiters know that they will not take them to the banks because the banks will not accept. And we all know that December period is the time when prices go up, is the time when a lot of things happen. This period, this timing of this policy is we will call near perfect, if not perfect. We're just being human to say, not to say it is perfect. That's why we're saying it's near perfect. It will reduce inflation that comes with December. It will reduce crime that comes with December. It will reduce corruption that comes with December. And in the public service as well, when they want to pull out all the monies in the budget so that they can implement the new budget, there's no way they can dissipate the money they will pull out now. So it will keep more money back in the federal treasury. So all these things are happening, and we say the timing is just perfect. And we still insist, the Central Bank of Nigeria, print less cash. We don't think from our own side that we need more cash than 500 billion naira. We don't need that 3.2 trillion that is in circulation. Let these monies move electronically, and we beg the CBN, please do not shift that date, 31st of January 2023. We have heard some people who have already been hired to come and put out arguments and narratives that the time is too short. And we ask ourselves, what is short between 15th of December and 31st of January? It's about 47 days within which you can take cash that you have and put it in your bank account. Even if you don't have a bank account, in 47 days, you can still open a bank account and put your cash. So who says it is short? We insist to the CBN, from all studies that we have conducted, that the timing is not too short and it will be good. You know, the system of shifting deadlines in Nigeria is regular. A lot of people will wait and believe that the CBN will shift the date. Don't worry, they will shift the date. Don't bother, it's Nigeria, they will shift the date. We beg the CBN governor, please disappoint them. Nobody who has genuine money will wait until the last day. We say it is late. It is those who don't have genuine money that will wait for this time to happen so they can find ways to deploy this money and mix it in the system. Insist and disappoint them. Let this change come with a change in attitude for Nigeria so that when government announces a date, people will know that that date cannot be shifted. It is on this basis that we generally weighed the cost of printing new Naira notes with the benefits of this policy. We have heard that the economy cannot carry the cost of printing these new Naira notes. We say to the Nigerians, and we commend the CBN, that after general overview, in-depth analysis of the cost against the benefits, we say, and it is our declaration, that the benefits of this policy far outweighs the cost. on the economy of Nigeria. Because when you know the amount of money that goes for ransom payment, that goes into corruption, that goes for vote buying, if all these monies and the negative effects of these things are pulled away from our economy, you will see that the cost of printing the new Naira notes will be far less than the cost of these negative activities going on in our economy. And it will generally put the economy under the control of the relevant agency, which in this context is the Central Bank of Nigeria, so that it can be, transactions can be monitored, monies can be, nobody will lose any money or any value of his money because of this. Rather, people will gain value for their money because the Naira clearly will be strengthened if this process and this policy is clearly and beautifully implemented, as we believe that it will be beautifully implemented. Thank you so very much for the audience.
Please, a round of applause once more to Mr. Hazurike for that in-depth insight on the policy of the new Naira notes. Can you kindly once more applaud Mr. Hazurike? A sounding applause, please, gentlemen. And on that note, I want to bring to an end this press conference, and may I most humbly request that we stand in honor of our country, Nigeria, to render the national anthem once more as we round up. Please, the national anthem.
Nigeria's call obey to serve our father's land with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve without a mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and